Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
A Mexican wrestling star dies after getting hit in the ring. We'll have a reaction from fans.
A firebomb attack in the Inland Empire. Now the search is on for the person who threw a device into a car, setting it on fire.
And we are one step closer to building a football stadium for the NFL in Carson. The big announcement. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jory Rand.
And I'm Rutabaga Shabazi in for Giovanna Lara. Welcome to Eyewitness News at 7 on LA56. LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. A tragedy in the wrestling world. The son of a Mexican wrestling legend is dead after suffering a blow in the ring in Tijuana. It was caught on video, but we must warn you, it is disturbing to watch. Eyewitness News reporter Melissa McBride has reaction from fans.
Pedro Aguayo Jr., the lucha libre wrestler known as Hijo del Perro Aguayo, received a flying kick from Rey Mysterio Jr. that landed him on the ropes. The match continued for nearly 2 minutes while Aguayo appeared unconscious and in need of help. The 35-year-old was later pronounced dead at a Tijuana hospital early this morning.
We feel like a family with lucha libre. So when we hear about what happened, it's really sad. It's no words to explain.
Lucha libre fans attending a taping of the El Rey Network show Lucha Underground learned of Aguayo's death this morning.
He was mostly a brawler. He had a lot of charisma. That's what kind of attracted a lot of fans. He was known for being the leader of the Perros del Mal. Just very charismatic, very energetic, and just very tragic at 35 years old, just too young to go.
Aguayo won several titles, including national pairs with his father, the legendary Pedro Perro Aguayo. Lucha Libre fans say they've enjoyed watching 2 generations of wrestlers in the ring.
They have hours, years just to be a professional. So we appreciate what they're doing for us.
Aguayo Jr. had been a wrestler in Mexico for 20 years. The state prosecutor's office in Baja California says that it has opened a possible manslaughter investigation. Reporting in downtown LA, I'm Melissa McBride, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you. Turning now to our weather. Cooler temperatures right now, but there is a big warm-up on the way. Here's Danny Romero with the latest.
Yeah, in fact, enjoy the kind of cooler temps now, Jory and Rutabaga, because, that heat is on the way. But right now, man, as the marine layer starts to move in, clouds start to move in for the nighttime hours, we get some beautiful sunset shots. Props to Mike in the room setting up our cameras here. Oh, my gosh, Irvine Spectrum Live HD, a gorgeous sunset shot looking fabulous. Just clouds and a little clear sky above that mixing in for some gorgeous colors. Look at this one. Another gorgeous sunset in Southern California. Burbank, our valley camera looking great. You see the traffic lights at the bottom and then that sun setting up above. And looking pretty good over the area, too. The temps are now mild conditions at 69 in Ontario, 66 for Burbank, 65 at Long Beach right now. So certainly towards the cool of the evening. As we head towards the week ahead, a couple of days very nice. And then the big change. I'll tell you about that with a 7-day forecast in just a bit. Right now, Rutabaga and Jory, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Danny. A firebomb attack in San Bernardino. Now the hunt is on for the suspect who threw an incendiary device into a car near 2nd and I Streets. The attack set the car on fire, injuring the driver and leading to a chain reaction crash. Eyewitness News reporter Q McCrae has video of the firebomb sent to us using the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness.
That was kind of scary because stuff was just flying in the air. I heard the screeching and it was just pretty much like, what is going on outside?
Kenyatta Purdy and her son Keon are talking about the fiery scene in front of their home last night just after 8. They captured it all using their cell phones.
All you heard was boom, and that was all I heard. And I ran to the back door and I seen his car was on fire. When we looked out, this car here that was sitting here was engulfed in flames, on fire, like literally on fire. It was so close that it started to pop into my yard.
Investigators say it all started here at the corner of I Street and 2nd Street. This is where a man was inside his Mercedes at a stoplight when a second vehicle pulled up and threw an incendiary device inside that Mercedes-Benz and sped off. Police told us the driver tried putting out the fire himself while driving and slammed into this SUV a block later, causing it to ram into this duplex at the corner of 2nd Street and J Street. One unit was empty, the other wasn't.
It was like an earthquake.
Aaron told us his front door won't open anymore. The crash shifted his home's foundation. His mother was in bed behind this window at the time.
A few feet over, she probably would have been hurt pretty bad.
If not worse. Exactly. Witnesses say the couple in the SUV suffered minor bumps and bruises. The man in the sedan had burns on his arm, but will be fine. Police don't have a motive for the crime. They continue to search for the suspect. In San Bernardino, Q McCrae, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Demonstrators took to the streets today for a day of action calling for peace. Members of Answer, the Act Now to Stop War and End Racism coalition, gathered at the CNN building in Hollywood today, calling for an end to U.S. troops in the Middle East. They then marched to the nearby Armed Forces Recruitment Center. It was 12 years ago this week that the U.S. and coalition forces invaded Iraq. The Black Defense Network today held a news conference and rally in Inglewood, calling on the district attorney's office to file criminal charges against former CHP officer Daniel Andrew. He is the officer who was caught on camera beating a mentally ill homeless woman on the freeway last year.
A sworn officer of the law needs to be held to a much higher standard of conduct in our communities, because his purpose in our communities is to uphold the law.
Andrew has since resigned, and the California Highway Patrol agreed to pay a $1.5 million settlement made with Marlene Pinnock.
New information tonight about the documents seized from a home in rural New York related to the arrest of real estate heir and suspected killer Robert Durst. State police confirmed to ABC News that about 60 file boxes were taken from the home of Susan Giordano, a friend of Durst. The boxes contain phone records, bills, family trust documents, and other legal papers and videos. Durst was arrested on charges he murdered Susan Berman in Beverly Hills nearly 15 years ago. He's scheduled to appear in court in New Orleans on Monday.
We now know the identity of the man killed while skateboarding on a mountain road in the Angeles National Forest above Glendora. The LA County Coroner's Office has identified him as 20-year-old Eric Peterson of Clayton in Contra Costa County in Northern California. Peterson was killed when he was hit by a dump truck as he was skateboarding on that road. Paramedics were sent to Glendora Mountain Road near East Fork Road just after 10 yesterday morning. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
An investigation is now underway after an explosion and a fire at a suspected marijuana oil extraction lab in Van Nuys. It happened just before 11 o'clock last night at a house on the 15,100 block of Leadwell Street. Police are also investigating whether the home is a marijuana grow location. 2 people were detained. There's no word yet on any arrests. No one was injured. A driver is under arrest on suspicion of DUI after crashing into a school bus and several cars in Mission Hills. It happened near Devonshire Street and Sepulveda Boulevard late last night. Authorities say the driver eventually hit a power pole. Some injuries were reported. It's unclear whether any students were on the school bus at the time.
Another development today in the ongoing effort to bring the NFL back to LA. Supporters of a plan to build a stadium in Carson held a rally rounding up the needed signatures to bring the proposal to voters. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell spoke with the city's mayor today.
Supporters of a proposed football stadium in Carson are already feeling like winners, rallying this afternoon to celebrate collecting more than 14,000 signatures on a petition to put the plan on the ballot, nearly twice the number needed. The 72,000-seat stadium would be built on a site just off the 405 freeway. The next step in the process is up to Carson City Council.
This signature gathering is a testimony to what the people of the city want. I would say that the elected officials of Carson, the council members, a legislative body, will look at the petition and look at the intention of the petition and then make a decision based on the merits.
The San Diego Chargers and Oakland Raiders are working on a plan for a shared stadium in Carson. That's if both teams are unable to get new facilities built in their current hometowns. Carson is one of 2 cities vying to bring NFL football back to Los Angeles. The owner of the St. Louis Rams is planning to build a stadium as part of a development at the former Hollywood Park racetrack. Carson's mayor believes his city's plan offers the perfect location and many other benefits.
I think that a stadium of this caliber, of this quality, state-of-the-art, the future of stadiums in the world would be built here in Carson.
Supporters of the stadium plan to hold a victory parade when they deliver more than 30 boxes of signed petitions to the city clerk's office. That'll happen at 10:30 Monday morning. In Carson, Amy Powell, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Today in Naples, Italy, Pope Francis went to prison where he had lunch with a group that included some inmates who are gay or transgender, as well as some who are HIV positive. The trip to the prison was a late addition to his schedule. The lunch was part of a busy day. We're told there was also a miracle. The Pope kissed one of Naples' most cherished relics, the dried blood of the city's patron saint there, which is kept in a vial. The cardinal said the kiss caused half the dried blood to liquefy. Pope Francis said, if only half of it liquefied, we still have work to do. That is a sign in popular tradition that prosperity will come to Naples.
U.S. war veterans and their families gathered on the tiny barren island of Iwo Jima to mark the 70th anniversary of one of the bloodiest and most iconic battles of World War II. More than 30 veterans toured the black sand beaches where they invaded the Japanese in early 1945. Today's ceremony included Japanese politicians and descendants of the few Japanese who survived the battle. In 36 days of fighting, nearly 7,000 U.S. Marines were killed and 20,000 wounded. Japan continues to search for remains there. It is estimated 12,000 bodies have never been found.
Ahead on Eyewitness News, new details about a house fire that left 7 children dead and 2 other people critically injured.
And several people injured at a ski resort in Maine when the chairlift goes haywire. We'll show you the dramatic rescue effort. Plus this.
Police cars, they're more than just distinctive paint jobs and flashing lights. They've always had to be tough. Now they need to have technology. I'm car specialist Dave Coons.
I'll have that story coming up.
New details tonight about that unbelievable family tragedy in Brooklyn. 7 siblings killed in a raging house fire overnight. Neighbors say they heard screams and saw flames in the home at an Orthodox Jewish neighborhood before firefighters arrived. 4 boys and 3 girls between 5 and 16 years old were killed in the fire, blamed on a malfunctioning hot plate. Their mother and her teenage daughter survived by jumping from a second-floor window. They're being treated for severe burns and smoke inhalation.
A ski lift malfunctions, injuring 7 people at Sugarloaf Mountain in Maine. ABC's Lindsay Janis has the latest on the investigation and how those people are doing tonight.
A terrifying moment as this chairlift malfunctions, rolling backward down the mountain. Skiers jumping off to try to save themselves.
there was definitely panic. We heard people screaming, everyone who was standing in lip line and concerned about people jumping into them.
This skier, one of more than 200 who had to be evacuated this morning from the lift at Maine's Sugarloaf, one of the East Coast's biggest ski resorts.
There were people laying on the ground. They were definitely immobile.
7 people hurt in total, 4 of them taken to the hospital. Their injuries described as non-life-threatening. And it's not the first time at Sugarloaf. In 2010, 8 people were injured after a lift cable derailed. Both incidents malfunctions, but what's more common, accidents caused by skiers themselves. This 9-year-old boy somehow ending up dangling, then plummeting 20 feet, incredibly only injuring his leg.
Dude!
And this 17-year-old in New Mexico falling 45 feet. He too was okay. Chairlift deaths are rare. Just 15 reported in the last 4 decades. But safety experts say skiers need to be extremely vigilant.
You think you're going to drop something like a pole or a glove, it's best just to let that item drop.
Tonight, Sugarloaf in Maine apologizing to its customers and promising a thorough investigation. Lindsay Janis, ABC News, New York.
That is really scary stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And nothing like that here, though.
You know, I tell you what,
Pretty warm weather.
We got nice mild weather now, then warm, and then it's downright hot. So if you love spring weather, enjoy the next few days. If you like summer weather, well, got something for you too. Let's go outside right now and take a look at our live HD look outside. And man, beautiful sights right now. Sun setting over Big Bear. This is a great shot. We can just still see the sun lighting up the sky. It's a little bit here on a early Saturday evening. Now swing the camera over to Anaheim, and here, right there at Paradise Pier, a great shot. Hopefully a roller coaster goes by sometime soon, but there it is. Anaheim looking great here. Live camera out at Anaheim. Happiest place on earth at Disneyland, looking pretty good. Downtown skies also pretty clear right now, and we're mild. Temperatures are 64 degrees, pretty cool. Calm winds, 75% relative humidity. And the marine layer, this will be our weather changer next few days. Marine layer on the coast and inland as well during the night and morning hours tomorrow. Look ahead now, burns off Sunday afternoon. By Sunday night into Monday, marine layer back again on the coast all the way through the IE. So everybody gets this cool air. So it'll keep temperatures down for those couple of days to start the week. But then things start to change. Right now, onshore flow because of this trough of low pressure. You can see that circulation around that low bringing that cooler air onshore. But then as we move forward now, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, that low is in place. We see that trough really bring in that onshore flow. But watch what happens. Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday, that low breaks down. We now see this ridge of high pressure right there building in. So by midweek and then by the weekend, temperatures jump up to the 90s. So we go 70s to start the week. We see 90s by the end of the week. Here's numbers tonight. 48 for Palmdale, 56 for Malibu. And then tomorrow, pretty nice on the inland spots. 73 Santa Clarita, 72 Northridge, 75 Palmdale. But the coast, a little cloudier and cooler. 66 Malibu, Huntington Beach, only topping off at 69 degrees. But look at that, 80 degrees in Riverside tomorrow afternoon. Now here's the 7-day power back weather. Watch the numbers go. 72s for Sunday and Monday. Here's that little bit of warming. 75 Tuesday. By Wednesday, up to the 80s. Not done yet. Heating up to the 90s come Thursday and Friday. Still mid-80s for Saturday as well. For the valleys and the Inland Empire, morning clouds to start the day and then sunshine in the afternoon, 74. Warmer to 78. Warmer still to 84 on Wednesday. And then here comes that heat on Thursday and Friday up to the low 90s on those inland spots and staying pretty hot into the weekend as well. The beaches start out cloudy, cool, foggy tomorrow and Monday morning. And then there too warming up to the 70s midweek. By the weekend, 80s on the sand. That ain't a bad couple of days. Mountain spots will be cool with some winds kicking in Tuesday, Wednesday, and numbers 50s and 60s for the highs. Cold at night, though, down to 20s and 30s. High desert, very windy all week. And nice mild temps to start. 75 tomorrow, low 70s for the first part of the week. And then as we head towards midweek and the weekend, we see a bump up to 77, another jump up, and staying there in the 80s right into Friday and Saturday as well. So it's heat again.
Like winter never happened.
Almost like that. Gone. All right?
Right.
Danny, thanks. Yep. LA's popular Ciclavia takes place tomorrow. That means roads will be closed to all but foot and bicycle traffic during the 7-hour event. The route stretches 6 miles from the North Hollywood Metro Line station to Universal City to Studio City, then to Coldwater Canyon. If you need to be driving in any of these areas tomorrow, make sure you give yourself plenty of time. And Ciclavia isn't just about bicycle riders. Skateboarders, skaters, rollerbladers, joggers, walkers, and those in wheelchairs are all invited to take part. And we want to see your pictures of Ciclavia. Just post them on social media using the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness, or you can upload them to the ABC7 app.
Well, we see them all the time on duty, holding the fort at crime scenes or engaged in high-speed pursuits. But what really goes into today's police cars? Car specialist Dave Coons takes us behind the wheel of the top cop cars on the market.
It's a sight you dread when speeding and welcome when you need help. The unmistakable cop car. Updated for 2015 is the Dodge Charger Pursuit. With the optional 5.7-liter Hemi under the hood, this will end up being the last traditional-style police car, a sedan with a V8. That's because the only other one right now, the Chevy Caprice, will go away next year. But Chevrolet is doubling down on the police business with an all-new Cop Tahoe, featuring a V8 and rear or all-wheel drive. This is not just some stripped-down soccer mom SUV, it's a pursuit-rated specialty vehicle that can accelerate and handle like a police car needs to. The added room in back helps officers on specialty detail carry all their gear. SUV bodies are quickly becoming the new standard in law enforcement. You've no doubt seen Ford's Explorer-based Police Interceptor utility on duty. It, along with a sedan version, was created to fill the void left when Ford did away with the aging Crown Victoria. The new Interceptor not only gets strong ratings in official testing, but with the optional twin-turbo V6 under the hood, it offers way more power than the Crown Vic ever did. There's a persistent urban legend that police cars have special high-performance engines not available to the public. Well, that's really not true, although it may have been decades ago. They essentially have the same engines you can get in any civilian car. Where they do differ is in everything being heavy-duty, from the suspension to the brakes to the electrical system, even the seats. These are pieces of equipment, often working in life-or-death situations. And as such, they also have to be up-to-date to work with other pieces of law enforcement gear. Modular systems and wiring to accommodate electronic equipment, for example. Automakers work hand-in-hand with police agencies to ensure that the vehicles will be able to handle modifications properly and be able to hold up to hard use, especially as budget-challenged agencies keep their vehicles in service as long as possible. It might make your heart jump when it appears in your mirror, but like other police equipment, today's cop car is a modern tool to get a sometimes difficult job done. Dave Coons, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
A driverless car is about to make a cross-country trek beginning here in California. Tomorrow, an Audi with Delphi driverless technology will begin its odyssey at the Golden Gate Bridge. Delphi engineers say they need to test their computer programs in the real world. They have had road tests in California and in Las Vegas, but this 3,500-mile trip will be the longest ever attempted with driverless technology. But don't worry, there will be a person sitting in the driver's seat just in case something goes wrong.
Thank goodness for that. Up next, new developments in the car crash that injured comedian Tracy Morgan.
Still to come, we'll tell you about a big settlement and how the comedian is now recovering.
Plus, the local hip-hop star gets up close and personal with his fans. We'll show you the special message Kendrick Lamar had for hundreds of fans who lined up to get his new album.
The children of comedian James McNair, who was killed in the New Jersey Turnpike crash that injured Tracy Morgan, they're getting a $10 million settlement from Walmart. That's according to court papers. McNair died when a Walmart truck hit a van he was riding in with Morgan and several others. The settlement was announced back in January, but the amount was said to be confidential. Morgan suffered several broken bones and what his lawyer calls a traumatic brain injury. He is still recovering.
A happy homecoming today for hip-hop star Kendrick Lamar and, of course, his fans. Thousands of fans lined up early this morning outside Best Buy on Town Center Drive in Compton to meet the rapper and have him sign copies of his brand new album. The two-time Grammy winner was born and raised in Compton and had a special message for the fans who have stuck with him.
I want to say thank you. Thank you for believing in me since day one. I've been doing my thing on the underground scene for years, prior to me putting out any albums. And these are the same people that's been rocking with me, so I want to say thank you for believing in me, and I believe in you the same. So as long as we believe in each other, I will continue to do this music.
Lamar's new album, To Pimp a Butterfly, broke a single-day streaming record on Spotify with a staggering 9.6 million streams on Monday.
If anyone can pimp that butterfly, it's Kendrick Lamar. Great title. We are updating our top stories at 7:30, including the latest on the death of a popular lucha libre wrestler.
And we're learning new information in that wild airport attack in New Orleans. The very latest next.
Plus, we're starting to hear some of the dramatic stories of survival following this week's deadly terrorist attack in Libya.
And a water main break in the Fairfax district causes quite a watery mess today. We'll have an update on how repairs are going when we come back.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 7:30, the search is on for the suspect who threw a firebomb into a car in San Bernardino. I'm Rutabaga Shabazi in for Giovanna Lara.
And I'm Jory Rand. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7:30 p.m. It led to a crash that sent an SUV into a house near 2nd and I Streets. This cell phone video of the fire was sent to us by Jacob using the hashtag ABC7 Eyewitness. Thank you, Jacob. Welcome to the Circle. Authorities say a man was in his Mercedes-Benz at a stoplight when a second car pulled up beside him last night, tossed an incendiary device into the car, and then sped off. The driver tried to put out the fire while he was driving and wound up slamming into an SUV a block later, causing the SUV to crash into a duplex at 2nd and J Streets. So far, no word on a suspect or a motive.
A tragedy in the wrestling ring in Tijuana, Mexico. We must warn you, this video is disturbing. The son of a Mexican wrestling legend, Pedro Aguayo Jr., is dead after suffering a blow during a match. He received a flying kick from Rey Mysterio Jr. that landed him on the ropes. The match continued for nearly 2 minutes before anyone realized Aguayo was seriously injured. The 35-year-old was pronounced dead at the hospital early this morning. The state prosecutor's office says it has opened an investigation into possible manslaughter.
The 62-year-old man who went on a machete attack yesterday at Louis Armstrong International Airport in New Orleans has now died. Richard White was shot by authorities after attacking several TSA agents with that machete. The airport is back up and running again today. ABC's Candace Gibson has more.
Chaos at the New Orleans airport. Tonight, authorities say it could have been a lot worse.
Sometimes the saying, you'd rather be lucky than good, and I think we were both last night.
Just after 8 p.m. Friday, 62-year-old Richard White rushing through a checkpoint, at first attacking TSA officers with bug spray.
I was yelling for everybody to clear the checkpoint.
Then chasing TSA officer Carol Rochelle with a machete, the 14-inch blade nearly striking her.
This man was swinging very hard with that machete, and if he would have made contact with anybody, it would have been terrible.
And tonight, officials now saying White was armed with a lot more, including Molotov cocktails found inside a bag he dropped at security.
6 half-pint mason jars with cloth wicks into a liquid that we now know to be gasoline.
The attacker finally taken down by 3 shots from a law enforcement officer. Tonight, White has died from those injuries.
It was chaos. It really was. People running all directions. People were scared.
Officer Rochelle injured by the gunfire.
As they were taking me out on the gurney, we all broke out into applause, and I just was very uplifting.
Law enforcement officials say White had mental health issues. Now, besides the Molotov cocktails that were left here inside of a bag, they also searched his abandoned vehicle and found several smoke bombs as well as tanks filled with chemicals. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New Orleans.
U.S. military forces have evacuated an airbase in Yemen crucial to America's drone strike program amidst growing chaos in the country. Al-Qaeda militants seized the city near the base yesterday. Shiite rebels in Yemen issued a call to arms today against forces loyal to Yemen's embattled president. Just yesterday, 137 people were killed in suicide bombings. An affiliate of the extremist Islamic State group has claimed responsibility.
A Spanish couple is home safe and sound today and speaking out about surviving last week's deadly terrorist attack in Tunisia. Cristina Rubio and Juan Carlos Sanchez arrived in Valencia, Spain today. They were in Tunisia touring the Bardo Museum when 2 terrorist gunmen opened fire, killing a man right next to them. They told reporters of their harrowing ordeal, finding an unlocked door and spending the next 24 hours hiding on the floor in the dark awaiting help.
We thought it was our last moment to live. We even said goodbye to each other because we could see that there was no going back. And even when the police came and opened the door, we said goodbye to each other since we didn't know. We thought they were the terrorists getting ready to kill us.
Oh, that is so scary. 21 people were killed Wednesday when 2 Tunisians trained in Libya opened fire at the popular tourist site. At least 20 people have now been detained in connection to the attack.
Iran's nuclear program talks in Switzerland are in recess and will resume next week. Secretary of State John Kerry says progress has been made.
Over the past few days, I've had lengthy negotiations with the Iranian team about the steps that Iran must take to demonstrate that its nuclear program now and ongoing into the future is exclusively for peaceful purposes. Over the past months, the P5+1 have made substantial progress towards that fundamental goal, though important gaps remain.
Negotiators have until the end of the month to reach a preliminary agreement that will lead to the final deal by the end of June.
All right, taking a look at the forecast, we've got cool weather, we've got hot weather. The only thing we don't have right now is rain in the forecast. Danny?
Yeah, once again, we're looking forward and not seeing any real drops of precipitation coming our way, but we are certainly, as you mentioned, seeing some heat on the way. So right now, enjoy the cool of the evening. Laguna Beach, our live HD camera shows some of the lights down there along the coast, not bad. And then we swing the camera over now to the inland portion of Burbank, the valley, with still a little blue sky showing as sun setting over Southern California. And the temps are certainly cooling down right now. 56 in Wrightwood at the moment, 70 for Victorville, 46 for Big Bear. Inland temps are 68 for Riverside, 69 for Ontario, and with a little cloud cover, a little marine layer moving in, the beaches are showing a 61 right now in Santa Monica, 62 in Oxnard. As you look ahead, it's going to get warm, and then some real heat. I'll tell you about that when it gets here with a 7-day forecast in just a bit. Right now, Jory and Ruta Bay. Go ahead.
All right, thanks, Danny. A water main break in the Fairfax district created a wet mess for drivers this morning. This was the scene along Beverly Boulevard at North Alta Vista after a 6-inch cast iron main burst. About 10 to 15 commercial customers were affected. The break caused moderate street damage and closed one eastbound lane of Beverly for repairs to the water line. The cause of the rupture is still unknown. And crews spent the day cleaning up a mess in Riverside after a car slammed into a fire hydrant, spewing water into the streets. It happened just after 2 a.m. at the intersection of Park Sierra Drive and Magnolia Avenue. And as you can see, the street was completely flooded. Investigators say the person who hit the hydrant took off before police arrived.
Yeah, that geyser looked like it was 20 or 30 feet tall. Up next, some Southern California kids are using their talents to help others this weekend.
Still to come, we'll show you how some Agora High School teens are holding a Marathon of Hope, all to benefit local charities.
Plus, dancing for a cause. Celebrities turn out to strut their stuff to help a local children's hospital.
It's a dance marathon, all for a good cause. Hollywood held its 4th annual Lights Camera Cure, benefiting Mattel Children's Hospital UCLA and the Four Diamonds Fund. It's a 6-hour dance party along with a one-of-a-kind silent auction. Organizers say they invite young Hollywood stars to come out to dance for a cause.
The club atmosphere and that they can come out and dance and have a good time with their friends like they would normally do here in Hollywood, but now they're raising money to help kids with cancer.
Hundreds took part in today's event. Celebrity guests included a handful of actors and Dancing with the Stars alumni.
Well, this one is not your typical marathon. It is the Marathon of Hope in Agora Hills, put on by the group Kids Helping Kids. Hundreds of volunteers spent 15 hours today helping a variety of charities. Each hour, they gave their time to a new cause, like writing letters to soldiers for an hour, then making get-well cards for children in the hospital. The nonprofit is run entirely by kids.
Kids Helping Kids to me is really just kind of learning about people in my community, just things that I had no idea about before. It's getting to know everybody and getting to hear their stories, and if they need help, helping in any way that I possibly can.
Great job, Kyle, and everyone else who took part. The event culminates with a benefit show hosted by actor Rainn Wilson, a performance by Eddie Money, and a fireworks show tonight.
The performing arts took center stage today in downtown LA. 250 students from Grand Arts High School took part in a video shoot directed by famed dance instructor Debbie Allen. It's all in an effort to raise money to fund arts programs in high schools. Allen told us if America is going to continue to lead the world in ingenuity, performing arts education is a necessary component for all young people.
What we're doing is really kind of like a PSA to encourage young people to get involved in the performing arts. There's a lot of young people whose lives can be transformed by the performing arts. We're talking about dance and music and art and film.
Organizers say it's important to do everything you can to ensure young people in your community are provided with arts education.
Still to come, some family pets that aren't your typical kitten.
Definitely not. Find out what possessed a family in the Gaza Strip to bring home a pair of lion cubs from the nearby zoo.
Plus, the Kings continue their push to the playoffs, but could they afford another late collapse at Staples? Highlights coming up.
A Kansas man is bitten by a shark while snorkeling off Hapuna Beach on the Big Island of Hawaii. Ken Gracing says the shark was moving so quickly he didn't think it was going to bite him until he saw his arm mangled. He says he hit it on the side of the head to try to scare it away, but someone with a bodyboard helped him get to shore where paramedics rushed him to a local hospital.
This black cloud appeared, and I wasn't sure what it was. And the shape moved towards me quickly, and it materialized into a 10 to 12-foot tiger shark.
Gracing is expected to make a full recovery. He and his family are returning home this weekend with quite a story to tell.
That is true. Now to the Gaza Strip, where a man in the refugee city of Rafah has taken in 2 unusual new family members. Yes, those are lion cubs.
They're cute.
The man bought the cubs from a local zoo when they were only a few weeks old. He's currently allowing them to walk freely around his home, playing with his grandchildren. The kittens are 2.5 months old right now, but he says in another month he'll start keeping them in cages.
It's a little scary, but they're really cute to look at.
Might be a good idea.
They're kind of bigger than really little.
And they're going to get much bigger.
Yeah.
But how about this? You walk down the street with a lion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one is messing with
the
you.
crowd's part.
It's like our cats.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Danny, our weather. We're
nice.
not seeing any rain, but a little cooler than it has been.
You know,
at least.
we'd love to have some, but if we can't have that, then you know what? Give us the sunshine we're used to in Southern California. We got lots of it, and there is a whole bunch coming our way before the week is done. Outside we go, swinging out the HD camera, and we focus this time on Long Beach. Our live camera shows you things looking pretty nice here. Now, on the coastal spots, we're going to see a marine layer start to move in. Right now, Long Beach looking pretty clear. And here in the 7 o'clock hour, now swing the camera out to the Orange County Irvine Spectrum area. There, the HD camera gives a pretty clear view of the skies over Orange County. Downtown LA looking clear now and cool, certainly 64 degrees our temperature. Calm winds and 75% relative humidity, meaning a little more moisture building up in the air right now. 75 was our high this afternoon, just above the normal high of 71. And tomorrow morning, watch that sunrise at 6:54. Here's what's given us our weather, and on the cool side now, there's a trough of low pressure right now that's bringing us this cloud cover and keeping us on the cooler side with a thick marine layer nights and mornings. That cool air that moves in on the coast and to the valleys as well. Long as this low is in place, we'll see that happen. But what's going to change for us right about the mid to the end of the week, we'll see this ridge of high pressure that builds in. Now, circulation around this goes clockwise and goes push everything offshore. So now that cool air stays away. We get hot air working earlier in the day, and the temps jump up quite a bit between Monday and Friday. Here's our numbers tonight, down to 53 in San Bernardino, to 51 in Simi Valley, 37 in Fraser Park. And then tomorrow's highs, 75 in the high desert, Lancaster and Palmdale, 71 in Encino, 64 Redondo Beach. Again, the cooler coastal numbers. Inland Empire, nice and sunny there. 80 for Riverside, the high Sunday afternoon. Now watch this, 7-day power back weather goes morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, low 70s. Little bump on Tuesday, 75. A big jump, 81 Wednesday, another bump. Here's the 90s hitting us on Thursday and Friday, and still pretty warm, mid-80s into the weekend as well. For the valleys and the Inland Empire, morning clouds to start. We'll then see sunshine in the afternoon. Here comes the warm-up a little bit Tuesday, a little more Wednesday, and a lot more Thursday, Friday, and the 90s for the valleys and the Inland Empire. Beaches are going to start pretty cloudy first few days. Not until around Wednesday, a lot more sunshine earlier in the day, and then by Thursday and Friday, we're seeing mid-80s for our highs on the beaches and keeping it pretty warm into the weekend, Saturday, 79. For the mountain areas, mostly sunny skies. Clear through the week. Some winds kick up midweek, and the numbers stay in the low 60s, upper 50s until a little warm up in the mountain spots as well. 68 for the high Friday and Saturday. A pretty good mountain weekend coming our way. The high deserts, warm and breezy with numbers in the low 70s on Monday and Tuesday. And then here comes the warm-up, 77 by Wednesday. And then by Thursday and Friday, like everybody else, the heat really arrives and we get to the mid to upper 80s heading into the weekend in the deserts with winds all the way through the week as well. So hot, dry, and windy there. All right, there you go.
I want you to note the smile on Danny's face right now. Here's why.
Yeah,
an afterthought who many said didn't deserve to be in the NCAA tournament at all.
What do they know?
The UCLA Bruins have earned their keep today, advancing to the Sweet 16 and putting that sweet smile on Danny's face. Bruins looking for their 33rd trip to the Sweet 16, taking on 14 seed UAB. Tony Parker spent last summer playing with pros, while He looked like a pro today. 19 of his 28 points came in the first half. UCLA just dominated down low, outscored UAB 52-22 inside. Here, Kevon Looney gets the easy pair. Bruins up 14. All 5 starters in double figures. Bryce Alford drains the 3. Tough to call the Bruins Cinderella, but at the 11 seed is moving on. Back to the Sweet 16, winning 92-75.
He has that in his game. Coach Alford didn't pass much, so I think Bryce focuses on being a better passer than him. And that's big time for us. He passed the ball really, really well today, and he always does to me.
We have time for one more if you have one. Any further questions?
Get him out of
no
here.
follow. Yeah, no follow for that.
It's a good time to get him out.
How about that calling out coach? Spring training baseball. Dodgers with a split squad game against Colorado. Arizona native Andre Ethier with a nice start. Pops the first pitch he saw into the right field seats. That's good for his trade value. Dodgers jumped out to a 4-0 lead, but the Rockies come back with 6 unanswered runs. The last of which coming on the double smoke to the wall in dead center field by Jason Langfell's Rockies come back to beat the Dodgers 6-4, your final. Jared Weaver getting the start for the Angels, taking on the defending World Series champs. Weaver looking to be in mid-season form already. 6 strikeouts in 5 innings, doesn't allow a run. You can see why he'll be the opening day starter. This one looked like it would end in a tie until the 9th. Bases juiced. Kyle Kubica shoots one to left field. That's a spring training walk-off right there. Angels win it 3-2. Kings looking to stay unbeaten against Vancouver this year. Scoreless after 1. Kings get going in the second. Just 24 seconds into the period, Marion Gaborik steps to the top of the circle and lights the lamp. Canucks tied it up, then capitalized on a 5-on-3 power play when Tyler Toffoli was ejected for a check from behind. He might be suspended down the stretch here. Not good news as the Kings lose 4-1, and they are back out of the playoff picture and quickly running out of time. And that's sports.
All right. Well, coming up next on Eyewitness News here on LA56, we talk to the stars of the action-packed movie sequel Insurgent.
And a local candy maker tries to break a record for the world's largest peanut butter cup. I'll tell you how it went next. The new action-filled movie sequel, Insurgent, has launched into a big box office weekend. It earned more than $4 million on Thursday night alone. Entertainment guru George Pinocchio discovered the film's stars think this novel-turned-big-screen adventure will please fans.
Hey, I'm a Divergent fan. I came to the book series as a fan and came to the movie as a fan.
Octavia Spencer isn't just in the movie Insurgent, she's also part of the legions of loyal fans of the best-selling novel.
I know you're angry, but you're letting it consume you.
The stars of the film think those die-hard book fans will be pleased with the way their big-screen interpretation is moving along.
I think that we really, respect the world, and you're dealing with, a book series that so many people have found so enthralling and are really able to kind of escape into these factions and, are really in love with the character of Triss and want to see where her journey goes. And I just think you have really smart director, and you have actors that are very serious about what they're doing, and I just think it's cool. I think we did a really good job with bringing this to life.
Do you know for sure something you've done that will make them say they did it for us?
Generally, we've taken it to a whole new level. I mean, it's bigger and more complex and richer. I think the world is very coherent and you see more of it, and the new characters have served us really well. There's always elements you're going to lose, but I think generally they're going to be very pleased.
You are the key, Triss, to rescue what little civilization we have left.
The whole thing with when you have a movie that's based off a book is you want the vibe to be similar, but you can't make everything the same because you need to make a good movie. Hopefully the diehard fans won't hate the movie because it takes some liberties and makes a few changes. I think once they see the movie, they're going to realize it's great and they'll be okay with it.
Insurgent is in theaters this weekend. It's rated PG-13. George Pinocchio, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
A Florida firefighter paralyzed in a skimboarding accident 4 years ago is back in the water thanks to some generous friends and a celebrity. The Aviles family got a new swimming pool thanks to some pool builders, the Daryl Gwynn Foundation, and rapper Vanilla Ice.
There he is.
Who else? Who got tossed into the pool you just saw there. And the pool is made to cater to Derek Aviles' physical needs.
I was here. I spread out the blue and everything and broke ground, and I love seeing it the way it is, man. It's awesome.
We've got this pool heated. We've got jets in here. We've got ramps in here. We've got a pretty pool to look at, and I think that he's going to love every minute of it.
I'll be able to stand, and it'll be right there where I'll be able to feel all the jets around me, and it'll be good for my muscles.
Derek says another benefit is that he'll be able to be in the water with his children, which he hasn't been able to do in 4.5 years.
Oh, that is great stuff. Who's hungry, by the way?
I am.
All right, well, chocolate lovers out there, this one's for you. We were there as a local candy maker tried to break the record for world's largest peanut butter cup. That is a kiddie pool they're spilling that into. The candy factory in North Hollywood was serious about breaking the record set back in 2013 at 230 pounds. The candy factory says it is a candy maker to the stars and called in some of its celebrity customers to help, pouring in the chocolate and the peanut butter, then more chocolate, and I'm now ready for some sweets.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Yum.
All right. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7 here on LA56.
We'll see you at 11 o'clock over on ABC7. Good night.